I was watching a Twitter video around a week and a half ago where this guy in Harrison, Arkansas, which is where the Ku Klux Klan headquarters is located in, holds a Black Lives Matter sign, and many of the people driving by him says some of the most vile, hateful shit towards him. It is absolutely disgusting. I'm not gonna repeat it here, obviously. You can watch the video for yourselves. I'll probably link it in the description for you to see, but the video had a pretty heartwarming ending, where this girl comes up to him and gives him a note saying something like this: ignore all the haters, what you're doing is a great thing, be proud of yourself. And it really put into perspective for me that not everyone from the South is a bad person. There are genuine good people in the South who care about social justice and care about equality and are not racist, hateful shitheels like many of the people in this video. I know this should really be common knowledge that not every Southerner is the exact stereotype that people tend to ascribe them. Racist, uneducated, redneck, living in a trailer park, white trash, you get the stereotype by now. But I really needed that reminder that not every person from the South is a bad person. I kinda knew this, but seeing it in a video really just demonstrated to me that I really tend to write off a lot of these people because I'm a city boy. I live in NYC. Of course, I'm not really part of the Southern lifestyle, like, at all. I've never been to the South, never really had many interactions with people from the South, aside from, a select few people online, but that's really about it. So I don't really know much about the life and culture, so I tend to just kind of write off these people as, how they're depicted and how they're stereotyped, usually. And this is horrible for me because I'm a person who hates bigotry of any kind. Racism, sexism, you name it. It fucking disgusts me that there are people out there who would gladly discriminate others just for their skin color, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, religion, etc., etc. And yet, for the longest time, I've written off of people who take up a large portion of this country just based on a negative stereotype, and that stereotype isn't even applicable to a lot of people who live in said large portion of this country. Are there people in the South who fit this negative stereotype to an absolute T? Of course. Many of the people in that video I talked about earlier fit this stereotype to an absolute fucking T. But still, you gotta remember, there are many normal people in the South who are genuine good people who were unfortunately born in a very hateful part of this country, and you can't forget about those kind of people. You can't just write off everyone who was born in a portion of this country as bad people, as racist, uneducated rednecks, because that is just fucking false. It is stupid, privileged, elitist thinking, and it needs to fucking die. Because you want to know who this stereotype hurts the most? The poor, working class people who work their asses off just to barely get by in life, who live in these southern states. And many of these people are people of color. There's a large black population in southern states. They're not white trash, are they? And many of these people who live in these states rely on federal funding programs like welfare because they can barely keep a roof over their families' heads with the money that they earn themselves, so they need assistance from the government. And this type of thinking inspires horrible, horrible people like Cenk Uygur to begin to advocate for the cutting of federal funding to these states because, oh no, these are red states, it's filled with a lot of racist people, never mind the people who are loyal to the Democratic Party, the people who vote Democrat in every election, the people who aren't racist, also the large people, the large POC population in these states. Forget them, just cut off their funding because these states comprise of a lot of racist, redneck shitheels. And I think this stereotype is another way to keep the working class down. Just characterize everyone living in these poorer states as uneducated, racist, redneck, just horrible people in general, and people won't feel any ounce of sympathy for them when they need some kind of assistance because they can barely keep a roof over their head. Write people off based on their own individual characteristics, not a dumb stereotype that harms a large group of people that may contain some people who don't even fit the quota of said stereotype but are lumped in anyway just based on which part of the country they were unfortunately born in. Again, this type of thinking harms no one else but the working class, and if you actually care about the working class, then you would stop perpetuating a stupid stereotype that, again, harms no one else but the working class that is comprised of many poor people just barely getting by and sustaining a roof over their heads. I know there are a lot of awful, awful, awful people who live in the South, I get it, but still, don't write off a large portion of this country just based on that. Don't give up on it, because there are a lot of genuine good people in that part of the country, and you cannot forget about them, and you always have to remember that they exist, they deserve your empathy, and they should not be written off based on a dumb stereotype, because chances are they're a regular working class citizen who may be less fortunate than a lot of people in this country and need all the assistance that they can get, and just perpetuating a stupid stereotype harms these kind of people and allows people to be like, they don't deserve our help, because chances are they're probably Republican, they're probably racist, they're stupid, so why should we help them? No, that is a bullshit way of thinking, and get that fucking shit out of your head right now. So if there's any Southerner who is watching this who is a decent human being, my condolences. I'm sorry that you're surrounded by a lot of stupid, hateful people, but just remember, you are not alone. There are still many people in your part of the country who think like you. They may not be a dime a dozen, but still they exist, and don't lose hope. I'm sure you will find like-minded people where you are someday. But for now, just keep persevering, because trust me, the South definitely needs more voices like yours. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.